Hi guys, my name is Satyanshu Singh, and the time has come for us to have another session, another edition of Cinema is Forever quiz. Uh, आप में से कुछ लोगों को पता होगा that this is an annual event that we do. We started this during the first wave of COVID. We had Cinema is Forever quiz on 31st of May in 2020, and then last year in August we did another fundraiser. The first quiz had its the beneficiaries from the quiz were the then emergency funds for COVID, and last year we had 7 different funds which received benefit from our quiz. It's a small endeavor, frankly, to celebrate cinema and to have fun. Meanwhile, also trying to contribute in some manner. Today we have a very special guest with us, and my partner who has been working with us over the last 2 editions of the quiz. I'll first introduce Venki to you, Venkatesh Srinivasan from Bangalore. He is the CEO and the lead quiz master at Nexus, which is a quizzing and consultancy agency. They do really cool stuff. Uh, Venki is one of the most loved and reputed quiz masters in this country. He's amazing. He gives you the hope that you can win, and then eventually you realize how bad you are. So that's the sign of a good quiz master. Uh, so thank you, Venki, for doing this again.
Thank you, Satyanshu. My pleasure always. This is one of my favorite quizzes of the year to do. So I'm very glad we're doing it for the third year in a row.
Thank you. And now the guest of today is a very dear friend and Biswapati Sarkar, who is a writer, a producer, an actor, and he's extremely well known. I'm sure all of you know him. He is one of the biggest cinephiles I know. When we talk about our childhood memories of bonding over cinema, it's always been fun to listen to him. I also feel inspired by his journey as a writer and a producer. He's a very very hardworking writer, and I'm glad that he's here with us today. Immediately after the release of his latest film, which is Jaadugar, playing on Netflix. If you have not checked out the film, please go and watch Jaadugar. It is a labor of love. And welcome, Dada Biswapati Sarkar.
Thank you for having me. For the total honor and pleasure for being here. Thank you for having me.
Great, great. So, guys, we'll have the best way to announce the quiz is to have a mini quiz, that sets the tone. So, Dada Biswapati Sarkar and myself, we are going to play a cinema quiz here, which has been, created, curated, mastered by our very dear Venki. And let's see what happens in this quiz. Over to you, Venki, for the next few minutes.
Thank you. What an honor to conduct a mini quiz among two legends from Indian entertainment over here. Wonderful. So let's do this. We'll do 4 questions, right? We'll go with Dada first because he's guest of honor. He's the Jaadugar here, so we should give him the first shot at this. We have 4 questions. The 4 questions are on. So Cinema is Forever as a quiz covers all aspects of cinema, right? So we cover Indian cinema extensively and world cinema extensively. So the 4 questions here are on Bollywood, Indian cinema, Hollywood, and world cinema. So Dada, first question to you. This is a print, like a painting print depicting the female protagonist Vasanta Sena, a rich courtesan. She appears as a main character in a 5th century Sanskrit drama that was made into a 1984 film. Which film? One part. The second part is even more interesting. The producer of the film was a big notable hero himself, and he ended up acting in this film because of an unforeseen circumstance that happened to the original star who was supposed to act. What had happened?
1984.
And the film's title is just one word.
Okay, so it has to be a period drama because it's a 5th century Sanskrit play. Assam Sena 84.
I will give you a bit of a clue saying this is not at all how Vasant Sena looks in the movie.
The producer of the film is a notable hero himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
But some other big hero was supposed to act in the film, but some unforeseen thing happened, so the producer himself ended up acting. So early 80s में मतलब इंडिया में एक किसी हीरो को unforeseen circumstance.
अमिताभ बच्चन को कुछ हुआ था क्या? Was 1984? No, Amitabh Bachchan was punched during in the 80s only, na?
You are on the right track. That is correct. That is the second part. So do you know who the producer of the film is? That's okay. Let's go to the first part. Do you want to make a guess of the film itself?
No, I don't think so. Nothing's.
Okay, let's see
I've
what
heard of this.
the master Satyanshu has to say.
Oh my God, this is so embarrassing, because I have some idea about this, but I should be knowing the answer, so I'm embarrassed anyway. The film, if I'm not wrong, is Upkar.
It's not Upkar.
Upahar.
No, you're starting with the right letter, but it's not Upkar or Upkar.
Is that Rekha film? Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Utsav.
Utsav. Yeah, it's Utsav. It's Utsav.
Yes.
And the second part, of course, Dada got. Do you know who the producer of Utsav was?
yeah, Shashi Kapoor.
Shashi Kapoor, correct. So Shashi Kapoor was the producer and he stepped in to act because Utsav was being shot in 82, 83 when Amitabh had the accident in Bangalore.
Correct.
Right. So he couldn't act and that's why Shashi Kapoor stepped in himself. This is, of course, Utsav, starring Rekha and, Shikhar Suman and so on.
Nice.
And of course, interestingly, it was directed by, the great Girish Karnad. So, yeah, so that's point split between the two of you on the first question.
Wow, you are being so kind.
I know, for Upkar and all, I shouldn't give points, but I'll be kind. Okay, here's your question now, Satyanshu. Okay, this is the 2021 Telugu film. It's the story of tribal people in a remote location of Andhra Pradesh who treat a radio as a talking god. The one-word title of this film is a familiar word to all of us. We've known it for many, many years. And the word was coined by, interestingly, a professor who had taught psychology at Mysore University in 1935. The fact that he taught psychology and all doesn't really matter. But what is this word? Given that radio is being treated as a god by these people, what's this familiar word?
I'm sure it's an easy question and
it's a familiar answer.
Okay. Story of tribal people in a remote location who treat a radio as a talking god. The word was coined by a professor.
Yeah.
So it has to be it won't be a word from the English language. It would be a technical
It's
word.
not. It's an Indian word. Yeah. It's not an English language word. In the context of radio, this is a word that we know for sure.
Akashvani.
Sorry?
Akashvani.
Akashvani. That is correct. Very good. Well done. Akashvani, like divine sound, things like that. Akashvani.
You helped me with this, but okay, I'll take that.
Yeah. Nicely done. Nicely done. So Satyanshu goes into the lead, but Dada, here's your chance. Okay, easy one for you. This picture shows the formation of a company or corporation in 1919 when the key people involved wanted to break away from their current contracts and have complete freedom creatively and business-wise. Which corporation was thus formed? And who's the gentleman seated in the middle, seen here signing the contract?
So I'm guessing the person who's signing the contract is Charlie Chaplin.
Yes.
And corporation should be United Artists.
That is correct. Well done. This is United Artists, including Mary Pickford, Douglas Fairbanks, all of them, along with Charlie Chaplin, formed United Artists. That's absolutely right. Okay, last question of our mini quiz. Satyanshu, here it comes. Easy one for you. Which 2013 film, later also adapted into a streaming show format, was based on this French graphic novel?
So this graphic novel was made into a 2013 film and then adapted into a streaming show.
Yeah.
This streaming show is confusing me. Otherwise, I would have guessed something.
Ignore the streaming show if you want to. I mean, you can, if you just want to make a guess. I'll tell you that the director of the 2013 film is very famous, and this is a world cinema question. I'll give you a bit of a clue if you want.
Yeah, please do.
What you can see in the background of these two people standing there, what you can see in the background is roughly like an engine room of sorts.
I don't know. Train to Busan.
Good thinking. Very much on the right track.
दिमाग क्यों नहीं काम कर रहा है आज दादा? हाँ, उत्सव बोलने में उपहार बोल रहा हूँ मैं.
You already took one guess. Let Dada take a guess now.
Yeah.
My mind switched from engine room that you mentioned, and I can think of a film which has an engine and which was adapted into a streaming show also. I
Yes.
don't know if it was based on a graphic novel or not.
What's
Is
your
it
answer?
Snowpiercer?
It is Snowpiercer. Very well done. It is a Bong Joon-ho movie. You went for the wrong one with Train to Busan. This is Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer was originally based on a French graphic novel, which Bong Joon-ho made into a film, and then of course it's now made into a streaming show. That's the end of our mini quiz. I think looking at the results, we seem to have a perfect tie. So well done, gentlemen. Excellent.
Nice. Thank you.
That last question. Back to you, Satyanshu.
Thank you, Dada, for consciously underperforming and
I'm happy that I'm very happy.
the only question I knew was United Artists Charlie Chaplin. That was the only thing I was confident about. But this is exactly what I was talking about. When Venki curates a quiz, it looks like you can win it, but then you realize that arey yaar, ye missing hai kuch. So I think that's a sign of a great quiz because it keeps you involved all the time.
Yeah, and when you know the answer, you're like, oh, acha, this is the answer. And that's the best part of a good quiz.
So thank you, Venki, for this. It was amazing. I must tell you that last few minutes were among the most, anxiety-filled moments I've experienced once my shoot ended this May. So thank you for being so amazing again. Guys, this is just a glimpse of what we do at the quiz, Cinema is Forever quiz. And it is actually a lot of fun, and some really avid quizzers join us from all over India. And it's wonderful. Last time I participated, I could not make it to top 10. But then just cheering for others and watching the entire quiz was so much fun. So I'm glad that we are doing it again, and like always, we are doing it with some cause in our mind. As we know that the northeastern part of our country is going through a devastating flood situation for the last few weeks actually, and whatever we can do to contribute, because the situation is improving, but with clothes and medicines, and there are a lot of lakhs of people who have been affected by the floods. So attached to this video, you will see there's a link using which you can go and register for the quiz. You will see all the details there, so I won't go into that the details of what you can do there. However, if you cannot contribute by money, which the minimum amount will be really small, so I'm sure most of us can contribute. But if for any reason you cannot contribute, please spread word about our quiz so that more and more people get to know about it. Because yes, it is for a cause, and all the money that is generated will go to people who can benefit from it. This is a very small endeavor on our part, but also when more people come together, it will be a good evening. It'll be a fun evening, and we'll celebrate cinema, and we'll have fun, and Venki will make us feel how stupid we are. So let us give Venki that chance to make us feel stupid as we celebrate cinema once again in this annual quiz called Cinema is Forever. Thank you, Dada, for being here, for your time, and thanks, Venki.
Thank you.
Thank you, and hope to see a lot of you at the quiz. Thank you.